All right, project fat tire goes tubeless. Will it hold air? Watch till the end. And please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you. What's going on, everybody? This is my wife's fat tire e-bike right here, the Tubeless. It's got 26 by 4.0 tires on it. And recently we got back from a camping trip and the rear tire was full of goat head thorns. If you're not familiar with what goat head thorns are, I'll show them to you right now. And I've gotten flats on this before with the same goat head thorn issue. Biker's worst enemy. This is on my wife's fat tire. I forgot to mention why I'm doing this. If you get goat head thorns, you pull them out, and if you're running sealant, the hole seals right up. A goat head thorn. And the front tire, not an issue. You know, take it off, simple, 2 bolts, and repair the tire with, throw another tube in it. So taking off the rear tire, there's a little bit more into it. You have to disconnect the rear hub motor. Get rid of the hose clamp and all that. It's just kind of a pain to repair. And if, we're going to continue to get flats on this bike, I wanted to make it tubeless. So that's the goal today, to make at least this rear tire for now tubeless, just because it's such a pain in the ass to remove that rear wheel. So let me show you what I got to make this thing into a tubeless fat tire e-bike. So here's the tubes that it comes with. If you're familiar with fat tire e-bikes, 26 by 4.0 wide. Here's the rear wheel right here. And there's the rear hub drive cable that I was talking about. Good look at that rear rim. I'll show you the width on this thing, the internal width. It's almost 3 inches wide at the internal width of this rim. So I'm going to have to find some rim tape, obviously, to make this tubeless. And I went to the hardware store and found this Gorilla tape, and it's in 2.8 inches width, which, check that out right there. It's about perfect for this application. And that wasn't cheap. It was like 23 bucks for this roll. So I don't know. I bet rim tape in this width is a lot more expensive. Hey, look at that. I guess it's pretty comparable. So what I've started to do is I have this rasp right here, this file, and I'm just going around all these spoke holes, and I'm just kind of knocking them down because they do have a little bit of a roughness texture to them. This is not like a high quality wheel, but you can see that. So I'm knocking down all the little rough edges around these holes, just so the tape, when I apply it, it is the smoothest the surface can be. In order to make this a tubeless conversion, there's the valve stem hole right there. And this is a Schrader valve wheel. You have to have a Schrader valve tubeless valve stem to make this work. All right, so I'm going to prep this wheel right now, get it all ready, get it all cleaned up, and then I'm going to apply the tape to it and then the valve stem, and then we're going to put, I use Muck Off because it's a really good price. I've used it, on all my other bikes. And, so far so good, no issues. Stands is also good. Stands is a little bit more expensive than this, but, for the price, the Muck Off, no puncture, tubeless sealant works great. And it's going to take quite a bit of sealant running a 4.0 tire. 26 by 4.0. Damn, this thing's heavy too. This is a Kenda. All right, let's get started. All right, so I'm going to prep this wheel. Basically, I'm taking this rasp file. So I'm smoothing all these holes out. So when I do apply the Gorilla tape, the surface is just free, so no air can sneak in through anything. And there's no snags, no barbs poking through the tape. So I'm just going to go around, prep each hole, knock all the abnormalities get this surface as smooth as I can get it. A lot of material on that one. And then right here where the seam is, where the rim comes together, there's a little bit of a lip. You can see I've already done some work on it. I'm just trying to get it nice and smooth. And this shouldn't do anything to the integrity of the wheel. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, now I'm just going to take a little bit finer file with a round profile on it. And same thing. I'm just going to go around, knock all the imperfections off these little holes. I just want to make sure that the tape adheres really good to this wheel. You know what I mean? I guess I can talk about why I haven't been riding in a while. I just, I don't know. Haven't had time. We've been busy. Camping, family stuff. Just haven't really had any time for any really good, big, fun rides. So, hopefully, this weekend, or Monday, I can get a ride in. So, that'll be cool. I did do a 12-mile ride today, just wife and I, just on the beach. It's always fun. It's always a good time. Yeah, that right there where it connects, there's a little bit of an overlap. I'm just trying to knock that down so it's as smooth a transition as I can get. You don't want that tape, you know, having any kind of air gaps getting in so that the sealant can't escape. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making this as tight as airtight as I can. Okay, now I got a Scotch-Brite pad. I'm going to go around the entire interior of this wheel. I'm going to fill for imperfections. I'm just going to go around like this, make sure it's nice and clean. Like, plus if there's any kind of like, you know, metal that is going to, you know, catch on the tape or hang up, this Scotch-Brite is going to, you know, it might leave behind some material. That way I know that hole needs a little bit more attention with the file. So I'm just going to go around this. I'm still prepping it, getting it all nice and clean. So far, just with my hands, I really can't feel any imperfections. The holes feel really smooth. No extra material left over that could puncture the tape or allow air to sneak by. You want this sealed tight. Just going to go around it a few times like this, like so. Preparation is the key for success. You should know that. If you don't, hopefully you learn something, because do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. Now, I've never done this with a fat tire, but I've done it on my other mountain bikes, no issues. So with the fat tire, you got more surface area, I guess more room for air. You're gonna have to definitely use more sealant in the tire. After I do this, I'm gonna take some isopropyl alcohol, and that's what's in this bottle right here. I'm gonna spray it, clean it, let it dry, and then we'll apply the Gorilla Tape to it. All right, checking my holes. They all feel really good. I'm not feeling any extra material sticking up. That joint right there is smooth. All right, let's move on to the next step. Okay, got some lint-free rags, just some cut-up t-shirts, brand new, from my buddy Ted. I'm just gonna spray some isopropyl alcohol all around the inside of this, like so. Just a nice mist all around. I'm gonna take that lint-free rag, wipe it down, let it dry. Alcohol dries quickly, so I want to make sure though it's dry. So nice wipe down. You want that tape to stick. No excuses for it to come up. You can see it's already drying right there. Go around it one more time. It is Friday the 13th, so You gotta make sure you're doing it right. I don't know if that matters. Okay, so that's that. It's all clean, ready for tape. Try to keep your hands from touching this surface. You don't want to leave any grease or residual behind. That'll keep the tape from doing its job and sticking. Okay, when I do this, I like to start a little bit past the valve stem hole. See that right there? The hole for the valve stem. So I'll start past it, about 1/2 inch. Then I'll wrap the entire wheel. And when I come back over the top, I'll overlap it by 1/2 inch, this side of that hole, just to make sure it's got a nice good bite to it. All right, let's tape this wheel up. All right, wish me luck. Never done it with this wide of tape. 2.8 inches. This is some big stuff. It's really sticky. All right, it's already difficult trying to cut this tape nice and straight, but look at that. Good stuff. Okay. Okay, this rim too has a concave shape to it. I don't know if you've seen that. I can show you real quick. Shape of that rim, it's concaved. So I'm gonna really have to press down in the middle to make sure there's no air getting in that little valley of this inside of this rim. Just take your time. Pressing right down in that valley. This tape is freaking strong. Stretching it nice and straight. Keep tension against this so you don't get any air bubbles. Almost there. I can see the end of the other side of the tape where I started. I'm going to overlap it by about 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to take a razor blade and make a nice clean cut where it joins and overlaps. Fresh razor blade. So the tape's going to overlap right there by 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to cut it nice and flat. Brand new razor blade. Sweet nectar. All right, and show you exactly where it overlapped. There's my overlap right there. All right, there's a look at the tape job. And I really haven't even pressed it down yet. That's just with me pulling the tape against the rim. So I'm gonna take something that fits inside here and I'm just gonna really rub down hard. Look at that, looks like a lightning bolt. So yeah, I wanna make sure that everything is like down solid on this wheel before we put that tire back on it and fill it up with sealant. All right, so I have this like nylon, whatever you wanna call it. And I'm just gonna rub it down the middle. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Make sure that joint where they come together is nice and just solid. So you want to use something that's not going to rip the tape, nothing metal. This is, like I said, plastic. And I'm just rubbing that tape down. Nice. You want that nice and tight so no air gets out, no escape. Like I said, preparation is like your #1 thing on, you know, making a tube tire tubeless. I've done many of these, and yeah, if you don't prep it right, that's when you're going to get little tiny leaks, especially around spoke holes and stuff like that. So just take your time, prep it right. And I'll show you this after I'm finished. You can see those spoke holes. All right, now you can see where I rubbed this one side of the rim. I pressed down really hard. You can see where those spoke holes are on the tape. There's my joint right there. Now I'm going to rub this side. Just press it down as hard and firm as I can with my little plastic tool. All right, one more time around. I'm just going to get these edges really close. Make sure no sealant can seep. Sorry, not sealant, but so no air can get by. If there is any opening, you know, air is going to find it. So just going to go around it one more time. I'm sweating. Frickin', it's a lot of work if you want it done right. I'm pressing pretty hard. Now there is one, I would say, I guess it's not a negative, but There is one thing about Gorilla Tape. Once it's on, good luck getting it off. It's I've had rims that I've like dented and I've taken in to get straightened out or something like an edge, and they're just like, dude, that tape, we couldn't take it off. It was like stuck, and it was just, the glue would stick to the rim, which is, but I'm like, if it's going to be a tubeless tire, you're going to want it to last forever, right? I'm guessing. So how often do you replace rim tape? So once it's in there, it's almost permanent, dude. It's in there. I mean, you can't get it out, don't get me wrong, but it's just going to take you a long time to clean that rim. The stuff works great. So, all right, I think we're ready, dude. Dude and dudettes. Ooh, breaking a sweat. Yeah, so now it's time to put the wheel back on. Actually, I forgot. It's time to find a hole for your tubeless valve stem. This is a Schrader valve for this tire, not a Presta. So what you want to do is you want to locate your valve stem hole, which is right down here. I don't know if you can see that right there. And we're just going to poke a little tiny hole in it. So I got this right here, this really tiny little flathead. Like I said, locate the hole. There you go. Make a tiny little hole right through, all the way through. Take your tubeless valve stem. This one's really nice. It comes with a little O-ring right here at the top. Now we're just going to push this right through. Bam. Just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to put that O-ring back on, and that little cap that goes above the O-ring. Screw it on, like so. There we go. Time to put the tire back on. Make sure you got the tire going the right direction. Pretty much on. Okay, we got the tire on the rim. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the valve stem core out of the Schrader valve, and I'm going to take my air compressor and fill this up as quickly as I can to seat the bead. You want that bead to seat, to pop on. This is before you add sealant. This is just basically popping the tire onto the rim. So remove this valve stem core. This is your valve stem core remover. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna fire up the air compressor. I'm gonna blast air into this tire as quickly as I can. That way it'll seat the bead onto the rim. And then once you know that the bead's seated onto the rim, then you can take the air out, add your sealant, fill it back up, and cross your fingers. All right, there's your valve stem core removed. Here's the tool I used. All right, let's seat that bead onto that tire. Air is escaping from the sidewalls, so I got to balance it around sometimes just to get that air going into there. Once it bites, it'll bite. Come on, baby. These damn fat tires. There we go. There we go. I'm not hearing a pop. 450. Feels pretty good though. Right about there. Okay, I'm gonna let the air out. Okay, valve stem core is in. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it has a couple small leaks, like in the spoke areas. You can see the bubbles. But that's without sealant. So we're gonna pump some sealant into it right now and see if that helps out with the little tiny leaks. There's only a couple, so not too bad. All right, here we go. Got our straw. The valve stem core has been removed, so we can pump in some sealant. Shake well. Now how much this is going to take. Big tire. There we go. I'm going to give it a generous helping. Maybe half the bottle. reinsert our valve core. All right, put air in it and see if it holds. All right, it's holding air. I just had to get the residual sealant off. Now I'm just like letting all that sealant get around, filling every little gap, every little part of that tire. Spread that sealant evenly. Spin your tire, balance it. Put a little bit more air in there and check it with soapy water, see if it's holding. Okay, max PSI on these tires is 30. Let's see what we got here. We got 28 and a half. I can go a little bit higher just to hit 30, just to make sure that that bead is seated completely. I'm gonna add a couple more PSI just to get that 30. I guess going over a little bit wouldn't hurt. Let's see what we got now. 32, okay. Now I'm gonna take that tire back out, spin it around, get all that sealant, you know, inside that inner of the tire. Make sure there's no leaks. But the hardest part about doing this was getting that bead to get back onto the wheel. That was a little bit of trouble just because it's such a big tire. Took a lot more air volume to pop that tire back onto the rim. But yeah, let's take it out, spin it around, check it out, see if it's holding air. All right, got my soapy water. Get it up in the spokes. I don't see any air bubbles. Cool, let's check the other side. Fingers crossed, here we go. Around that valve stem, around those spokes. No air bubbles. All right, cool. All right, so far so good. That's a success. It's still holding air. I put 32 PSI in here. Max is 30. I just want a little bit over, just to make sure that that bead is sitting on there tightly. One thing I didn't mention, or I didn't really even think about, these tires don't say anywhere tubeless ready, TR. So I just, you know, I went by what I've done in the past. Just use Gorilla Tape, clean up the rim really well. Use the tubeless Schrader valve for this application. If you're doing a regular bike with a Presta valve, they have Presta valves that are tubeless ready, of course. And pretty much you can almost make any rim and tire combo tubeless if you do it, you know, follow these steps. So far I had success on about, I don't know, I'd say I've done 3 or 4 sets of tires like this. And dude, it's still firm. It's holding. So I'm going to check back in about, I don't know, an hour or two. I'm going to check the pressure and see if it's lost anything. So let's take a pressure reading right now one more time. And then I'll come back in a little while later and we will see where we stand. And I'll show you the tools I used. Basically, Gorilla Tape, you know, a couple files to get like the, you know, the fine pieces of metal nice and smooth and finished so everything would stick. Valve stem core removal tool, tubeless Schrader valve for this application, like I said, and basically that's about it. A little bit of isopropyl alcohol for cleanup, and of course your tubeless sealant. All right, let's take a pressure reading right now, see where we're at. Here we go, let's see what we got. Cleared. 31. And we'll check back in an hour, see if it's lost anything. All right, so I'm gonna reassemble the bike right now, and just a quick tip, whenever you do electrical connections, dielectric grease, just a little bit around there, not inside the plugs, but just a little bit in between where the connections go. Keep out moisture, keep those connections nice and easier to remove when you take it apart. All right, just a little tip real quick. All right, let's reassemble this thing. So you can probably see on the camera the struggle I had putting that rear tire back on. It's just it's a little bit difficult to change just for a flat. So I figured we have enough of those goat head thorns around our area,
and we will find you,
that I'd make it tubeless, at least for now in the rear, just to prevent, you know, changing out tubes and all that stuff, because this bike is over 80 pounds, I want to say, and it's just a chore putting it up in that bike stand and, you know, repairing the tire. So for now, the front still runs tubes. It's easy enough to take off. So hope you enjoyed that. The most difficult part was, you know, getting this bead back on, because it took such a high volume of air that I had to keep that valve stem core removed as I forced air into it with my air compressor. I had it up to about 100 psi, and I was bouncing the tire around, letting the bead, you know, catch. But once it caught, you know, it filled up with air. The bead sat on the rim. You can see, nice and clean, no leaks. Like I said, in 1 hour, it's lost half a pound of air. Maybe it'll get better with time. I don't know. But it's all sealed up. Checked it for air leaks. No leaks that I could see with the soapy water. And yeah, if you want to try this, the most expensive part is probably sealant and that duct tape. So $23 roll of 2.8-inch Gorilla Tape. But, you know, it's all in the preparation. Hope this helps everybody. And have a good day. Stay stoked. Looking for them arrows right there. That's a wrap. All right, let's see if we succeeded. Hooking everything back up. Okay, cool. It's got power. All right, bud, take it for a ride, see if it works. How is it?
It works great.
Good?
Yeah, can I see the video?
Yeah, dude. All right, it's been about an hour. Let's check the air pressure. $29.5. So it's lost half a pound in an hour. So that's cool. I'm good with that. All right, it's 10:48 p.m. and I just decided, let's check the tire pressure on this fat tire, see if it's holding, doing its job. And got the gauge right here, set to PSI. Oh no, here we go. Right there, PSI. Let's see what we got in here. Look at that, 29. Okay, so I don't know, it's been a few hours. It's lost half a PSI. I'm happy with that, you know what I mean? Occasionally I have to add air to these tires, and they're tubeless, so you know what? That's just the nature of the beast. And I'll say this is a success. All right, everyone. Hopefully this helps you out. Have a good night. Stay stoked.